Okay, I think we're ready to start. Very good.
Everyone could put their phones on silent
Yes.
or vibrate.
Get ready to ask.
Appreciate that as well.
Getting ready to ask that as well. Please put your phones on silent for the next little while. Welcome to Baton Rouge and the first press conference here for the NCAA Baton Rouge Regional. It's our pleasure to welcome Missouri State to Baton Rouge. They'll take on Florida State tomorrow night at the Maravich Assembly Center. The way we'll do this here is we have 15 minutes, up to 15 minutes to talk to the players. There'll be a 5-minute break, and then head coach will come up. We'll have another 15 minutes if we need all that to talk to coach. Immediately to my left is senior guard Meyer Binhar. To the far side of the table is senior guard Bryce Caleb. The way we'll do this, we do have people joining us via Zoom. If you do have a question and you're attending this, please raise your hand via Zoom. We will address any questions you might have after we address the questions here in person. And for everybody here in the media, we have a microphone for you because this is being streamed. So for those who have questions, we can start away. Just please raise your hand. We'll make sure we get a microphone to you, and the floor is yours.
For the both of you, I mean, just you had to kind of hold your breath going into selection day the other day. Now that you have this opportunity, just how much does this mean to you, being able to get one last one in your Lady Bear careers?
Definitely means a lot. We knew we were going to get in. We just didn't know when. It was a little jittery during the selection show, but obviously blessed and thankful to be here for this opportunity. And just knowing that we worked hard through adversity and just knowing that we're here just enjoying the nice weather, the great atmosphere. We know LSU is going to be a great atmosphere and just excited to showcase what we have.
I agree with what Bryce said. I think this one was definitely the most nerve-wracking one, obviously, but it means a lot. We've been through a lot of adversity this year, and I think we're just excited to get on the court. And LSU, like she said, it's a great atmosphere to play at, and weather's great here, so that's nice too.
It's for both players. Is there any more excitement this year than last year, knowing that there will be a crowd? I mean, does it feel more like you anticipate it feeling more like a true NCAA tournament than last year?
Yes, definitely similar to our first NCAA tournament we went to. Us returners are definitely excited to have that feeling again, the normal feeling. Just trying to bring the upperclassmen and newbies into this ride, helping them enjoy this moment, try to help them calm their nerves and not be shell-shocked, just knowing that it's March Madness, it's do or die at this point, but just knowing that also to have fun, take it one game at a time.
Yeah, backing what Bryce just said, I think that we play better in those atmospheres. We thrive off those atmospheres, so it'll be really exciting having a crowd. Unlike last year, it was minimum, but we feed off our crowd, we feed off the vibe, so.
You guys do have quite a few new players this year. Talk about your experience in the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago, last couple of years anyway, and how you helped to lead some of these new players that are now key players for you.
Yeah, with our first run, we knew we had nothing to lose at that point, just playing with our heart, just playing with passion, playing for our only senior, Danielle, gets in that year, and just knowing that we just loved the game. We loved playing with each other, and we just knew we were going to do whatever it takes to win each game, and we made that run. And then just knowing we've been in the NCAA the next couple of years, just keeping that tradition up. Our newbies came here because they wanted to feel that experience and just taking them under our belt. It's definitely been a long season, but at the same time, they've enjoyed it, whether they've been on the court or not as much. They're happy to be here, excited. I told them I don't want them to feel heartbreak like we did at certain times this year. So just knowing that they're embracing it, having fun, living it up. They're overall excited, and I just hope they do well in their first tournament.
Yeah, I think it's big to focus on like why we're here too at the same time. The atmosphere will be great and stuff, but just sticking together, I mean, I think that's something that'll help us in games. We've been through so much adversity and things like that, so it'll really help us just coming together and knowing that they have nothing to prove. This is a fun time of the year. We just need to come together and fight through adversity and keep going.
You guys had gotten out of Valley play now. How good does that feel? Because you're playing against some of those teams 3 times. They know you, you know them. A lot different playing against non-conference teams like Florida State.
Right, and with the Valley, just knowing that it's gotten better every single year I've been here, a lot more competitive. This year showed that everybody beat everybody. Congrats to Illinois State for winning the tournament, but like you said, it's nice to move on from Valley play, especially our last time playing in the Valley. Just knowing that we need to just focus on this game, just a new fresher. We know scout-wise, just watching film over Florida State, just getting the repetitions of what they do well, what they don't do well, just focusing on our new opponent. Doesn't matter who it is, just focus on that one game.
As difficult as this season was for you guys, just what made it special for you guys kind of in your last seasons in Lady Bears uniforms, and being able to reach this point? This one seemed a lot more difficult than others.
I think tradition. I mean, we're trying to build a culture here, so being able to repeat 4 times in a row in the NCAA tournament means a lot. We've obviously made runs in the past too, and COVID year, I think we would have made a run too before it got ended. And I mean, we're pretty good as an 11 seed. We showed that my freshman year, her a couple years ago, so it's exciting.
I like my said tradition, and just knowing that ever since her class came in, like, we've known to be winners and be in the NCAA tournament. So just keeping that culture and tradition up, keeping our future Lady Bears, hopefully they keep the movement going on, just putting Missouri State back where we should have been for a long time.
Did doubt ever creep into your guys' mind throughout the season, maybe after certain injuries, or that you could be sitting here today?
I would say no. I think that's a part of just basketball in general. You have to regroup. Things happen, injuries happen, and I think our team showed a really good job of coming together and fighting through that. I think that's another reason why I think we can make a run too. Having that adversity and showing that and regrouping every single time and pushing through. I think a lot of teams haven't had to go through that at times, and I think it makes teams stronger.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've never personally had any doubt with this team, even like in preseason and even till now. I just know deep down in my heart, I knew we weren't going to quit. We have fighters on this team, been fighting through a lot, physically, mentally, spiritually. We know we've had our ups and downs with wins and losses, but at the end of the day, this group loves each other. We pushed ourselves to the best ability. We knew what it takes to get to this moment, and we didn't stop. We didn't achieve some of our goals, but at the end of the day, this is where we wanted to be, and we got here.
Bryce, how much fun has it been to watch Maya grow this year? Because I laughed with Mox and throughout all this, seeing her sitting in the coach's chair and stuff like that. What's that been like for you to watch her grow as a leader?
Oh, yeah. Maya and I have known each other since we were little, played against each other all throughout the years, and just seeing her, especially this year, just be our vocal leader. I know I'm an introvert myself, but just knowing that she's reading everyone's mind, she's going to say it out loud at that point. Like you said, coach's chair during Valley play, any game, honestly. She puts her heart on her sleeve. She knows that she is the reason we go. Like, in the Drake game, she was the reason we won that game. She turned it up, got everybody on their gear, got everybody lit up on their fire, and she makes this team go. That's why she's our point guard. She's going to do everything. Doesn't matter if she's scoring, defending, getting everybody in the right place. Like, she is the will to this team.
If you would, tell us how you feel about being in this particular place. You're happy to be in the tournament. You'd probably rather not be in the first 4, but yet it's kind of a historic expansion of the women's tournament to go to the field of 68. How do you feel about being here in this round?
Oh, yeah, this round, we're definitely excited to be here at 11 seed. Like Maya said, we're good with that number, but honestly, no number matters at this point. Everyone's fighting to keep their season, to keep playing, and eventually get a national championship. But just knowing that we're blessed and we're taking it one game at a time. I know, as our returners would say, it's just one game, win every quarter, and you win the game. So just saying, it's March Madness, one game at a time. We're not really overlooking anybody at this point. Just staying to ourselves and staying to our game plan.
I think it's important just to go 1-0 each day. You can't really look too far ahead and things like that. Right now we're focused on Florida State, and we're thankful to be here. Yeah, it's a playing game, but at the end of the day, like Bryce just said, it doesn't matter. Your seed doesn't matter. And I think March Madness, that's why it's called that. Madness happens in March, so we've seen it in tournament plays all around, so we're excited.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Brenda Van Lingen with ESPN. You've talked about the adversity and, Abby going down and Jasmine going down, but can you just kind of take us through the season for those that, haven't gotten a chance to watch you every game. Kind of describe, what each of those did and how you responded and what happened and how you responded, just how you really overcame adversity this year.
I would just say starting with Abby's injuries very early. I think it was honestly a couple minutes in the first quarter. The game just started. Just knowing that truly hit me in my heart because I've been with Abby the longest out of anyone on the team, and just knowing that I told her I would trade places with you in a heartbeat because that's how much I love and care for her. And I told her, I said, we're going to win this game. Like, I'm laying everything out on the line, and I think me personally, that was my best game, like, the whole season. Like, I just wanted to play for her because I knew she worked her butt off this summer. Like, she was going to be the most improved player within our whole conference. And it still upsets me, still hurts me to this day, but just knowing that she's been our best fighter, competitor outside of playing-wise. She's another assistant coach on the sideline, just knowing that she's helped us a lot, especially me mentally, helping me push through. Frustration, just, of course, the heartbreaking losses, but just knowing that she was a great factor on and off the court this year. Just playing through that was a lot of just adjusting, especially Abby Jackson having to step up in that starting role, I think was kind of shell-shocking for her, but then also we needed her to be like, we need you. Like, we know what you're capable of. You just have to believe in yourself. And she's flourished ever since that moment. And Jazz's injury was heartbreaking, just another uncontrollable thing we couldn't control, and just knowing that definitely hurt, especially their class. They're very close, and just knowing that she hates being on the sideline to this day. Just going crazy in practice, trying to rebound. I'm like, you need to sit down, girl. It's your knee, you need to sit down. But just knowing that she lifts us up with her spirits, the jokester of the team. Never a dull moment with her, but just knowing that her injury, she was our leading scorer, leading rebounder, was going to win a lot of accolades this year. Definitely heart and soul of our team at that moment, but just knowing that we needed Naya and Jen to step up, and they definitely have, which I'm glad because we were kind of short on the post at that time, but just knowing that they definitely stepped up. I told them after the Valley game, like, you guys make a big difference. I know you guys aren't in the media a lot, but, like, your presence does make a big difference, and I love and appreciate them so much. I think that talk definitely, like, made them understand, like, they're welcome here, like, you're respected here. And I said, I don't want you guys to ever feel this heartbreak again, but, like, you guys have a lot of years. I said, Jen especially, if you make it to your 6th year, I don't know if anybody wants to play college six years, but, like, me, just knowing that you have a lot of room to grow, and they're going to grow, and I'm excited for that for them. You can go on with Valley games.
I think, like Bryce said, you definitely lost. We lost a lot on the court at that time. Not even just, it's just their passion for the game and the intangibles that they do bring. But with that being said, like, after each one, it kind of just made us fight harder. It's like, okay, well, how, like, what now? Like, everyone needs to step up. I know me personally, I feel like I've been vocal leader this year, but I felt like even then I was like, hey, I need to, like, step up my vocal leadership even more now without Jazz and Abby and things like that. Bryce even, and I feel like everyone was like, okay, we all need to rebound way more because without them in there, everyone needs to rebound, point guards, everybody. So just picking up those little things, and like she was saying with Jen and Naya, having to step in, I try and tell them too. Even I was like, hey, like, if they're not missed a layup, it's okay. I said, go get that rebound. I tell LBJ that too. Just go get that offensive rebound. Like, let it go. I think knowing that playing through mistakes, that's going to be our best bet. That's been our best bet. That's when we play our best. When we don't focus on our mistakes and we just keep playing.
Maya and Bryce, you all slam dunk. First press conference of the regional. You ate up your full 15 minutes, and you all were fantastic. Good luck in the tournament. Thank you all for your time. Coach will be up here in 5 minutes, 12:45. We will start with Coach. Just so you know, a recording of this press conference will be available in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. And thank you for joining us. Ladies,
Thank
thank you very
you.
much. Okay, welcome back to the Baton Rouge Regional for the NCAA tournament. It's our pleasure to welcome Missouri State head coach Umaka Ogugwa Hamilton, or she said we could do it with Coach Mox, either way. What we'll do here with Coach, we're going to allow her to make an opening statement, and then if you have questions here in person, again, please raise your hand. We'll get your microphone to you since we are streaming. Those who are joining us via Zoom, if you have a question for Coach, if you'll please raise your hand via the Zoom. We'll do the in-person questions first, and then we will go to you via Zoom. And we have 15 minutes for our chance to talk to Coach. Coach, allow you an opening statement. Welcome to Baton Rouge.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. We are just excited to be here, especially the way our season ended. Obviously, everybody saw that. Weren't able to close out a championship this year, but we played the whole season from March, and we did a lot of our work early in non-conference, improved ourselves, and then we got really hot in conference play because we knew we had to after all the adversity we've been through, and finished strong. I think we won 9 of our last 11 or so, counting the conference tournament, and positioned ourselves to be here. So we're just grateful and thankful and blessed to be here.
Coach, we just talked to Bryce and Maya. Just what's it meant to be able to get them here and be able to end their Lady Bear careers here?
You always want to play for your seniors. They've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this program, and they've done a lot of legendary stuff, and they're leaving a great legacy. Not just them, but some of our other seniors as well. So this whole season, when we lost some of our key players, people that understand what it's like to play in the postseason and win championships, and understands what it takes, then that forced them to step up a little bit more. And we have some kids that came to Missouri State because they've never been in an NCAA tournament. Mariah White being one. She's a grad transfer, so she's a senior, and you got to step up if you want to dance at the end of the day. So it meant a lot. We knew we could do it. We knew we had enough talent. We knew some kids had to mature right in front of everybody's eyes. They got kind of thrown in the fire with the loss of Abby, Hip, and Jasmine, but they did, and they're still maturing. They're still getting better, but they got better and helped us. People stepped into new roles, but everybody was all in, and everybody was ready to do whatever they need to do in order for us to make sure we had a great season and were able to dance at the end of the day.
Coach, can you talk about the seniors, those two in particular, and what they've meant to you in your 3 years here?
Yeah. Well, Bryce, I call Bryce Depoy, because since I've been here, that's been her accolades. And she's a Lady Bear legend at this point. I mean, she's broken so many records. She's the will behind our wins. She's just so tough. Definitely, probably the best. Not even probably. She is the best defensive guard that I've ever coached. I mean, it's phenomenal what she does on that end of the floor. But then offensively, she's really evolved her game and stretching the defense more with her 3-ball, pull-up jumper, things like that. So she is an introvert by nature, but she's becoming more extroverted with her leadership, and I think that's really helped our team, especially in particular this year. So I'm just really proud of what she's done, and I'm thankful that she came back for a 6th year, because that's a lot. It's mentally taxing, it's physically taxing, emotionally taxing. It's a lot, and if she didn't come back, we wouldn't be in this position that we're in today. So we're thankful for her. Maya, the evolution of Maya has been crazy. We were literally just talking over there, and I said, when I was listening to her speak, she sounded like me, and she said, yeah, we just were, she's our point guard. She's an extension of me on the court and extension of the coaching staff, and she just gets it, and she understands, and she organizes our team. She's a great facilitator. She's a commanding presence from that spot, but just her growth off the court and her confidence in herself and her belief in herself is what's just inspires me, and it's the reason why I coach. And it's not just her, it's Bryce, it's our other seniors that are here, and even just the young ones that had to mature during the course of this season. So I'm just really proud of all of them. But these two, sitting up in front of you guys, you can hear them talk, and you understand that the culture here is pretty special, and those are two special ones sitting over there.
Given the injuries y'all had, and once you went out of the conference tournament, how concerned were you that maybe the committee would say, okay, well, maybe they're not the team that they were? But then why do you think they picked you? Why do you think that you were able to get a bid? What did they see past?
Well, I think they look at how you're trending, and how you're playing towards the end of the season. And we went on an 8-game winning streak there and had a chance to win a championship in the regular season. Obviously fell short with that Loyola game, but we showed improvement. We had players that showed improvement. Abigail Jackson is a huge, key to that. I've always known that. I actually, when I recruited her, I told her, you know, if she sticks to the process, she could be Player of the Year in this conference. And I think she was close. She could have been. But this year, she finally saw it in herself. Now, she was thrown into the fire, and she really didn't have a choice. Our team needed her, but she, you know, through the course of that, she found confidence. She found who she is. You know, historically, she's a turnaround jumper kid and like a face-up kid, and we just had to make her more physical. And when she finally bought into that, and then she started scoring it inside and out, her game started flourishing with that. So she's a big part of that. And then some of the other kids off the bench, they got better too. So I think when the committee's looking at our team, they're not just seeing, you know, 3 or 4 kids that, you know, we have that can play. They're seeing kids that got better to fill those spots that we lost, and they want to give us a shot. And I think we earned it. You know, it's well-deserved because we did get better. I understand the way the season ended, and I understand there's been ups and downs, but we have a lot of young kids that are, you know, trying to step up and haven't been places and trying to understand on the fly. So I think our seniors and our super seniors, 5th-year seniors, 6th-year seniors are doing a good job of leading, and I think people are getting better. So I think we're going to see a really good team starting tomorrow.
Just kind of circling back to Bryce and Maya, what were the moments where you just kind of, even you were surprised and saw that growth in both of them, just kind of off the court and who they are just as people?
Well, you know, I think my first year here, they both bought in for sure, and so did other people. But, you know, that year was more so us learning each other and learning, you know, just my expectations, my philosophy, my system, things like that. So year 2 for me is when I really started seeing the growth, especially from those two. Bryce became more of a vocal leader in understanding how to speak to people and how to motivate people individually. She's not one that's gonna, you know, just stop the practice and talk, you know, but she's gonna go over and talk to people when she needs to. You know, and she will stop every once in a while, but she understood that certain people need a certain voice to listen to, and certain people need you to, you know, jack them up a little bit, and she started understanding that. And so her leadership grew tremendously. And then her game, obviously, last year she was Player of the Year. You know, I think her game evolved as well. And then Maya, you know, year 2, I think Maya understood the system completely and was able to help facilitate that from the point guard spot. I think, you know, as a point guard, you have to understand before you can really lead. And so when I saw that maturity with her, or maturation, I guess you could say, with her, she then was able to, you know, I guess help everyone else understand. So that helped the transition of where we were trying to go. And, you know, off the court, I think last year Maya started to get more and more confident. This year, that stepped up even more. You know, she understands completely now, but at the same time, this year compared to last year, the urgency is there, the commanding presence is there, the vocal leadership is there. So it's kind of been, you know, I guess a mix between the end of last year and this year, where I've seen the biggest jump with Maya and Bryce's. Bryce's was definitely the beginning of last year, because the first year I think she had to understand me a little bit more, and we had to kind of grow our relationship.
Coach, I know after Abby's injury, everybody was down, but right before Christmas, you lost Jazz. Can you take us through your mental well-being, or lack thereof, at Christmas time when Jazz went down, what you went through, and then how you saved the team after that, kind of the changes you made to help this team get to where they're at now?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you know, before I talk about Jazz, you got to talk about Abby, because everybody looks at like Jazz's stats, and obviously outside looking in, they lost a lot with Jazz. Yes, we did, but we lost a lot with Abby, and Abby was an all-conference player from last year, and she was going to have the best year she's had this in her career. This was going to be it, because she was just, you know, she's been one of the hardest working kids, but she had a great summer. She just was all in, and she came back for her COVID year to make sure she had the best year of her career, and she was on track to doing that. So I just, you know, that was heartbreaking. I mean, that's a kid. You don't want to see anybody go down with an injury, but that's a kid that was just so present. Like, she was so present. She was so ready. She was holding everybody accountable. She was leading. She was playing. She was doing everything, and that happened. So that was difficult, and it happened right in 4 games in, you know, at USC. And we went on to win that game, and you know, her injury kind of spearheaded that with Bryce and Jazz in that game in particular. But that was difficult, but the team kind of stayed together, and Abby's a giver. And so even when she was going through her injury and she was so down, she continued to give, and she still does. So she's our glue. She's the positive energy. She's the voice. She's all of that, even now, not having her on the court. So that was a huge loss. And then when Jazz went down, Jazz was playing the best basketball she's played since she's been here. And I'm convinced she was on track to be an All-American. I mean, the things that she was doing against Power Fives, against 6'6" bigs, and she's playing 40 minutes, and people are just subbing in all these bigs on her, and they can't guard her, and she's getting 18, 19 rebounds, things like that. It was just phenomenal. She would have been the player of the year in our conference, hands down, and her accolades would have continued to pile up. So I was heartbroken first and foremost for her. And, you know, one of the things she said when I called her when we found out, because we had to go right home to Christmas break. We found out that day, and I called her, and she said, "Coach, I finally got it." She's like, "Why is this happening to me now? I finally got it." You know, she finally believed in herself. She finally actually wanted the ball. She finally, you know, wanted to be that person on the team, you know, and put the team on her back, because she wasn't like that before. Jazz, you know, when I first got here, I'd run a play for Jazz, and she'd be like, "No," you know, and she just wanted to be the rebounder and make other people look better. She didn't want that kind of pressure. So she finally got it, and she was heartbroken because, you know, once it clicks like that, you want it even more. So I first and foremost was heartbroken for both of them. And then, yes, Jazz was our leading scorer and leading rebounder. So we lost Abby, then we lost Jazz, and we go home for Christmas break, and I'm sitting there like, goodness, you know, I always believed in Abby J and you know, Naya, and I knew Jen was coming. She was going to get cleared, but, you know, some of those kids didn't have a lot of experience. Jazz, a lot of our offense was centered around what she could do, and her and Abby, and them playing off each other because they had really great chemistry. So I changed up the offense for a little bit. It was more guard-oriented, and it was good. But then, you know, people started to sag off us because we were having some shooting woes at the time. And, you know, so we still stayed in that offense, started winning a lot of games. And then when we got Jen back, because our offense, you know, you need more of a traditional big lineup, two big lineup. And when we got Jen, we kind of went back to what we were used to, which helped the kids a lot, too, because they've been doing it for 3 years, most of them. And the other ones had been doing it since the summertime. So once we kind of went back to what we were used to, I think we started to click a little bit more. We had a little bit more depth in the post spot. So Abby J wasn't as concerned about foul trouble because her and Naya were kind of foul prone. So, you know, we got in a better rhythm. Everybody started playing together now. But then we hit some COVID protocol stuff, and people were in and out. So we didn't really get into rhythm until we hit that 8-game winning streak. That's when we started having everybody in practice, and we could actually get better and get our chemistry together. But before that, people were in and out. You know, Maya, she sprained her ankle pretty bad, missed a couple games. So we had to just weather the storm. People stepped up. But one thing I always told them is, you know, we're good. I truly believe that no matter who we were playing in our conference, we were the better team. And we were always going to be prepared. You know, I was always going to put them in positions to be successful. So I just was more so working on their confidence and our team confidence and just trying to lead them in the right direction. But players stepped up, and we were able to win some games.
What are your concerns about Florida State?
You know, Florida State, just watching their film, they can be really good. I know there's some games where people in their conference expose them, just like I'm sure when they watched our games, they probably felt the same way. But they're big, they're athletic, they're physical. You know, they play, you know, they pack the paint a little bit, sag off you, man-to-man defense. If they feel like you can't shoot, they're not going to play you, that kind of thing. But they're going to be very physical. Now, we've played, and that's the beauty of our team, we've played 5 Power 5 schools already this year, and every year. Some of our kids have played, you know, at this point, like 16 in their career, or 17, maybe even more. So that level of physicality, I mean, we've talked about it. We played USC, who was huge and physical. We played LSU, who was huge and physical. We played, you know, Oklahoma State. We played Mizzou. We played Virginia Tech. So I don't think anything is really going to be a shocker for us, and that's why we schedule that way, because we're playing for March, and you got to play those teams in the non-conference to get prepared for that. So our conference was pretty physical as well. So that is I wouldn't say anything worries me about any team we're going to play, because I truly believe in our players and I know how good we can play. But you got to prepare, obviously, and the way that they rebound, or they're physical and kind of rebound and run on transition. I would try run and transition offense. I would say that's the best parts of their game. They run a lot of things that look the same as well. So you know, you have to really pay attention to the scout. But, you know, individual personnel, I mean, they're big and they're physical.
Coach, thank you for your time. I know you're getting set for practice. We appreciate it. And again, welcome to Baton Rouge. Good luck to you and your squad. Just a note, in about an hour from now, Florida State will be in here. It'll be time for their press conference. Until then, a recording of this press conference will be